Hi folks, today I want to do an AGA T2 Plus. I've been asked if I would do a U Wick. I've never done a U Wick before, I've never tried doing one. I use most of the time the AGA T2. This one's been set up for quite a few months. Every now and again I clean the tank out, but apart from that I never ever touch it. It's on it's a rolled stainless steel mesh. I've shown doing these before, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to attempt a U Wick. So we'll go down and have a look and see what's in the box that it comes with. Right folks, what's in the box? We have a nice new shiny AGA T2. All the connections. Now today I'm going to be using a U Wick, so I need to remove this post. If I remove the post there, my U Wick will build across into this hole here. So go from here up onto here. So this needs to be removed. I'll remove it and then we'll have a look. Right folks, all I've done is removed the centre post. There's just 3 nuts to undo and it slides straight out. Now that's my T2, and I've noticed this one has an extra hole. It has an extra screw fitting, so I want to build my wick I'm going to take that out. I don't need to take this post out, I'll just do my U Wick across them two with that screw as my earth. Whereas if I wanted to build a U Wick here, I would have to remove the post there. That post is for setting up silica, but it does look quite a bit different to mine. Like I say, I've had mine for quite a long while. So we'll tear it in bits and then we'll start and make a try to make a wick. I've popped the centre post back in because there's no reason to take the centre post out the way that I'm doing it. All I've done is remove the screw from that hole, and we should be ready to make a coil. I've undone the top nut and I've undone the earth so that I'm ready to pop it in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this aside for the time being, and I did forget to show you in this, that's your spares. You get canthal wire to build a single coil. You've got some spare O-rings, you've got a spare tank, white grommet, you have a centre post spare grommet and also a top screw, and there looks to be a spare screw as well, whether that's a spare filler if you want to put your filler hole back in, and you've got a piece of mesh. Now I don't know whether you can see that, that's cut square off a piece of square mesh. Now I'm using 400 mesh, and It's from a piece of A4 mesh. I've cut it on the diagonal. We'll see if it'll show. That's cut on the diagonal, and as you can see, you've a crisscross pattern as opposed to the one that's sent, which is square cut. I've looked and looked, and I've done my best with seeing the reviews on how to build U Wicks. So we're going to give it a go. We'll tidy everything off and then we'll start rolling this into a U Wick. I've cut the mesh, as I say, at an angle, a 45-degree angle, because it's supposed to leave it nice and springy when you've made it. When you make a straight wick and it's cut square, it's quite firm, there's no bend or anything in it. By the reviews I've seen, it's around about 75mm, so I've cut this at 75mm long, and I've also cut it at about 18mm. And all I've done to start the bend, it was a good technique. You put it on the piece of flat. You get a piece of flat, put your ruler on, pull it across, and it starts it rolling for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try folding this now. With it being started off, it does feel a lot easier straight away. Until you get it going, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. But when you start rolling it, you'll find that it'll square itself up nicely. Or should I say, round itself off nicely. I know what I'm doing wrong, sorry folks. I'm rolling it the wrong way around. When you're rolling these, you roll it one way to tighten it and one way to slacken it off. If I roll it that way, it's rolling tighter. If I roll the opposite way, it rolls it soft. And you can see it's quite floppy, and I would think it will take the U very easily. So I'm just going to try and neaten it up a bit better. It feels very different to roll cut on the angle as opposed to being cut square. It feels an awful lot more floppy in the hand. It's very different to doing it square. It seems to have a life of its own. I don't want to roll it too tight. I need to check it to see where we are compared to the hole. So that fits down into the tank, no problem. That's still a little tight, so I'm going to roll that a little bit more. Yep, no problem. And no problem. Let's have a look what it looks like when we bend it. The idea is not really to kink it, because if you kink it, I don't think it'll wick very well. So, if I can just leave it there a second. I forgot my little torch, so I'll be back in a second to torch it. Right, so what I'd like to do now is try and gather this up. It's not been flamed or anything, this. I need quite a tight bend, so I've got it like that. I just want to flame the loop to make it remember where it's going back to. And there we have it. Seems quite nice and neat. We'll try it down in the tank. I think we're going to be able to use that. I might just trim the ends a millimetre or two. So I'm going to remove it again, and I'm going to flame it all to oxidise it, so that then we get no shorts. Last time on this side. Now that should be oxidised enough. Notice now it's a lot stiffer. It's not as springy as it was, but it's still nice and hollow. I think you can see up there. So I would have thought that we stand a chance in it wicking. It might be a bit loose. I might need to do it again and make it a bit thicker, because it's only really 1 and a bit good wraps. But we'll try it, we'll pop it in, and then we'll try coiling it up and see what it does. Right, all I've done is I've put it in. I aren't going to chop anything off. I don't know whether you can see, but it is down to the very bottom of the tank. So we'll flame a bit of wire and we'll try coiling it. I'm going to take about that much. I'm not measuring it, but I'd like a bit to play with. So we'll just give that a flame. Basically all that does is it anneals it, it takes a spring out of it, makes it a little bit softer for winding. So we'll just, because these have, oh sorry, this one's dead flat, so I'm going to pin it down. Nice and tight there. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to feed it through the loop and build the coil. I've seen various ways of people building these coils. Some people prefer to take them off. I'm going to try it this way myself first. Just excuse me, a bit me little screwdriver for poking it down. Thread it back through again. And again. Now then, today I'm making a pig's ear of it. I'm going to pin it under the centre post. For the time being. Not very nice. So what we need to do is start spacing it out, tighten it up. Still absolutely lousy. I think what I'm going to do is take it off and start again. Pop the coil, the wick back in. It It's bent an absolute treat. It's just making a pig's ear of wire in it today. I'll try again. Trap the earth, feed it through. The reason I made a pig's ear of it is because I wasn't pulling it tight enough, but I don't want to kink the wick. Looks a little bit better this time. So I've grabbed a hold, now it's moved up out of the tank. There's a wick. We don't want it touching the centre post. Just going to lock that screw off a little bit tighter. Just space it away ever so slightly. Spacing my coils out just to make it look a little bit neater. I'm only doing 3 turns on it today. It looks a bit more even now. We'll wait and see what it's like when we pop it on. So I'm going to try it on a roller. So I'll just go and get the battery and we'll screw it on and have a look. Right, what I've done is I've popped it onto the Pro Vary so I can check the ohms on it. As you can see, there isn't a great deal of clearance. But you can see that it is just clear. So what we'll do is we'll have a look and see what ohms reading it says. So it's reading 1.2, which is ideal. I try and aim for between 1.3 and 1.5. So what we'll do now is we'll get rid of the excess. Well, as you can see, the coil popped out, so we'll try that again. I must admit this isn't as easy to tighten the screw as mine is. It does tend to become hard work. Well, what we'll do is we'll try it again and see if we've still working. Down to 1.1. Well, we'll leave it at that. I'll get rid of this wire. Feels a lot tighter now. Let's have a look at it and see how it fires up. Not bad. We'll take it off and we'll pop it on the, try it on the roller. I use the roller with my AGA, so we'll have a look and see what that's like. Seems to be fine. We'll pop the top cap on. Look for the air hole. Put it in front of the wick. I'll just have a look down in and see if we're touching anywhere. No. Lovely. So, I need to remove this screw and then I can fill her up with juice. So what I'll do is pop this screw out, and with all the AGAs, they seem to have a very long screw. I'll pop that into the tray with the others. I might have to put some into a proper juice bottle, because this hasn't got a very nice tip on it. Just popping a little bit of juice on to try and get it soaked through the wick. I'll give it a try and see whether I can get any in here. As far as I understand, the advantages of doing it this way is that you don't need to tip it up at all. Normally when you use a Genesis, you have to tip it. As you can see there, it started running out like mad because I've got the other screw out, so seems to be wicking like mad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pop the fill screw back in, because I think it'll be just too much with it open. Seem to have part juice there. I'm going to let's give it a try, fire it up. That seems to be over wicking, does that. I'll pop the cap on and give it a try and see what I can make of it. I might need to practice more with this setup, but I've put the hole by the wick. I'll just grab a drip tip. I'll just pan up and we'll give it a try. The juice I'm using is my own, and today I'm going to be trying coconut. It's the first time I've ever attempted to make a U Wick. I don't know whether it'll be too much in the way of wicking. I'm quite happy with it on a single wick, so I'll give it a try. I must admit I can taste the coconut in that it's very fresh. Yes, I've got to admit, that's a very full-bodied, full flavoured taste is that. It's nearly as good as putting it straight into a dripper. You don't get any dry hits. I'm doing my best to hold it straight up, but I haven't had a dry hit yet. Well, I've got to admit it's very tasty. I'll just pop the cap off. No, it's not over wicking now. Yeah, I'm quite surprised with that. There's quite a bit more vapour, more flavour than I thought there would be. As with all my juices I make, the 50-50 PG/VG, the nicotine's PG based and the flavour's PG based, so it's dead easy to mix. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Yes, I must admit it, a very full flavour. Now I've tried it with this, on this one, I might actually strip mine down. I'll have the post to take out of it. I might set a U Wick up for mine. I'll give this a try for a day or so and see how I go on. Yeah, no dry hits, no burning. Yeah, I'm very impressed. The taste from it's very clear, and like I say, you do get dry hits normally, but you learn to move the tank. That's why you tip it up, to get the flavour that you like. But yeah, I'm quite surprised if it's full flavour with it being stood upright. I think I'm converted. I must admit, I do like it. I think I'll be trying that with the UD AGI, which is the dripper cum tank. I'll do it definitely with my AGA. I have vanilla custard in that all the time. I drip the coconut in the I drip it in the AGA W, and I'm very surprised the taste from this is virtually as good as the dripper. I know that people have commented before and said that it makes the draw tighter. If anything, I'd say it makes it a bit looser, because I know that the mesh I've rolled, it isn't as tight as I've rolled the other wicks. I think they're about 45 by 45 square, whereas this is only 20mm. It's 75 by 20mm. Well, 19. I think I could probably I could make it a bit thicker, because like I say, it's only basically one wall wide. It's surprisingly tight. It's not loose, it's not catching or touching on anything, and like I say, it absolutely wicks like a stonker there, stood upright. And pop it back on. Just have to have another vape. I'm quite impressed with that. It's probably one of the smoothest smokes I've had on a mesh wick, is that. I can't knock the other wicks that I use, which is a straight wick. It's a lot easier to make, but having said that, I've seen other people struggling with the U wick. It's the first time I've ever made one today. At the end of the day, I only got this the other day, the mesh, and it's A4. It's a piece of A4, and that's the corner I've taken off it. So it's the first, it is genuinely the first U wick I've ever made, and I must say I'm quite impressed with that. It's a case of remembering not to tip it up. I don't need to tip it up. Yeah, it's impressive. So there you go, Rob. I made the U wick just for you, Robert Go For Smoke. He asked me if I'd make him one to show, and yeah, I'm very impressed, and I'm surprised how easy it was to make. There's only a few on the net, a few reviews of U wicking, and some of them seem to make it look hard work, and like I say, I'm very, very surprised. I'm experienced in engineering, things like that, so, but like I say, my main hobby at home, I play with wristwatches and pocket watches, so I was quite surprised how easy it was to make this when I've seen other people, you know, struggling a little bit, and it genuinely is my first time for making one. But yeah, there you go, folks. A U wick on a brand new AGA T2. Thanks for watching.